Let me tell you something interesting. Even after jumping 15% in a single day, Microsoft remains nearly 30 to 40% undervalued, assuming it simply returns to its 10-year historical average PE ratio of 32. I highlighted Microsoft as an undervalued buying opportunity in my first ever facecam video a week ago. Since I shared that analysis, Microsoft has performed beyond expectations. Now, in this video, I will discuss 3 more stocks that appear almost 50% undervalued despite growing their earnings every quarter, just like Microsoft. Although I hold a master's degree with a specialization in finance, I am not a certified financial analyst. This video is for information and entertainment purposes only. Please conduct your own due diligence before making any investment decision. Now, let's get to the main part. The first stock on today's list is SoFi Technologies. According to my research, SoFi is undervalued by 50% and the recent dip provides an excellent opportunity to accumulate. As per latest earnings report, SoFi's revenue jumped 40% to a record 1.2 billion. Adjusted EBITDA increased 44% to an all-time high of 358 million. Lending revenue surged 59% to 712 million, while loan originations climbed to a record 14.8 billion. These are not the numbers of a struggling company. They show a financial platform expanding rapidly across nearly every major part of its business. SoFi added a record 1.1 million members during the quarter, taking total memberships to 15.8 million. Its total number of products increased 42% to 24.4 million. Most importantly, 51% of new products were opened by existing customers, compared with only 35% 1 year earlier. This demonstrates that SoFi's financial super app strategy is working. A customer who initially opens a saving account can later add investing, credit card, insurance, or lending products. SoFi therefore generates additional revenue without repeatedly paying the full cost of acquiring that customer. SoFi Plus provides another potential growth engine. The paid membership program exceeded 200,000 subscribers and reached more than 24 million in annualized recurring revenue within a single quarter. Approximately 25% of SoFi Plus members subsequently adopted another SoFi product, supporting higher deposits, spending, and customer lifetime value. The lending operation remained equally impressive. Personal loan origination reached a record 10.7 billion, while deposits climbed to 45.5 billion. Despite rapid lending growth, annualized personal loan charge-offs declined to 3.7% and 90-day delinquencies rate improved sequentially. This directly challenges the argument that SoFi is sacrificing credit quality to produce growth. Management raised full-year revenue guidance to between 4.75 billion and 4.85 billion, but maintained adjusted EBITDA guidance near 1.6 billion because it is reinvesting additional revenue into SoFi Plus, business banking, small business lending, and other capital-light products. That decision pressured the stock, but these expenses are funding expansion rather than covering deteriorating economics. Following the correction, SoFi trades at around 18 to 20 times forward earnings. With revenue, memberships, products, deposits, and profitability reaching record levels, the sell-off appears disconnected from the company's underlying execution and superb growth rate. I rate the stock a buy at current levels and would add further on meaningful dips. Given its exceptional growth, a P/E multiple of 25 to 28 appears reasonable. Second stock on the list is Nvidia Corporation. The strongest evidence supporting Nvidia's growth outlook comes directly from its largest customers. Microsoft recently disclosed that approximately two-thirds of its 32 billion quarterly capital expenditures were directed towards short-lived assets, primarily GPUs and CPUs. Microsoft expects quarterly capital expenditures to exceed 40 billion with a similar asset mix, and projects approximately 190 billion of total spending during calendar year 2026. Most importantly, Microsoft said customer demand continues to exceed available supply and expects capacity constraints to persist throughout 2026. Although not every dollar of this spending flows to Nvidia, Microsoft also purchases CPUs, AMD products, and internally designed chips. The figure confirms that hyperscalers remain committed to deploying enormous quantities of AI computing hardware. Nvidia's profitability demonstrates why it remains the industry leader. The company generated approximately 61.1 billion in gross profit from quarterly revenue of 81.6 billion, producing a gross margin near 74%. If margins remain above 70%, it would indicate that customers continue paying premium prices and that competition has not triggered a destructive price war. Forward estimates make the valuation even more compelling. Analysts expect earnings per share to reach 8.99 in fiscal 2027, increase to 12.87 in 2028, and approach 15.98 in 2029. Based on these estimates, Nvidia's forward PE ratio declines from approximately 21 to 15 and eventually to just 12. Growth is expected to moderate from 88% to 43% and then to 24%, but that remains exceptional relative to the rapidly declining earnings multiple. Nvidia is not valued like a company whose earnings could continue compounding at this rate. It is valued as though competition and AI slowdown are already inevitable. My view is straightforward. Nvidia remains attractive at current levels, and meaningful pullbacks provide opportunities to build the position gradually. Hyperscaler spending plans, continued capacity shortages, and Nvidia's expanding earning power reinforce the long-term investment case. Number 3 is Oracle Corporation. Oracle represents a different kind of AI opportunity. The company was historically known for databases and enterprise software, but it is rapidly becoming a major provider of cloud infrastructure for AI workloads. Oracle's latest operating results demonstrate the scale of that transformation. Fiscal fourth quarter revenue reached $19.2 billion, increasing 21% year over year. Cloud infrastructure revenue surged 93% while operating income increased sharply. These numbers show that Oracle is no longer participating in AI merely through announcements. The build-out is already translating into substantial revenue growth. The most important figure is remaining performance obligations or RPO. Oracle's RPO increased from approximately $523 billion to $638 billion. This represents contracted business that has not yet been recognized as revenue and provides extraordinary visibility into future demand. Oracle is investing heavily to build the data center capacity required to fulfill those contracts. Capital expenditures reached approximately $55.7 billion, exceeding the company's earlier guidance of around $50 billion. That spending has pressured the free cash flow and contributed to concerns about financing requirements and the company's BBB- credit rating. However, investors must distinguish between spending caused by a deteriorating business and spending required to satisfy overwhelming customer demand. Oracle's capital intensity is rising because its cloud backlog has expanded far faster than its available infrastructure. If the company successfully converts that backlog into recognized revenue and recurring cash flow, today's investment cycle could create a much larger and more profitable cloud business. The correction has compressed Oracle's forward PE ratio from approximately 30 to around 14. That valuation implies considerable skepticism despite 21% total revenue growth, 93% cloud infrastructure growth, and a $638 billion contracted backlog. However, Oracle still faces meaningful execution risk. Data centers must be delivered on deadlines, financing must remain manageable, and major customers must honor their commitments. Nevertheless, the risk-reward equation has become increasingly attractive. Investors are paying a sharply reduced earnings multiple for a company experiencing accelerating cloud demand and possessing one of the technology industry's largest contracted revenue pipelines. Here is my final verdict. Just like any other tech stock, SoFi, Nvidia, and Oracle are not risk-free investments, but their corrections have created a compelling mismatch between market sentiment and operating performance. SoFi is expanding revenue, profitability, and membership at exceptional rates. Nvidia remains the financial and technological leader of the AI computing market. Oracle is converting its enterprise relationships into an enormous cloud infrastructure backlog. The central thesis is straightforward. When strong businesses continue delivering higher revenue and earnings while their valuation multiples contract, the long-term opportunity can become more attractive, not less.